Okay, so you've got Microsoft Project open, and we're going to work on the bathroom renovation project. So I'm just going to walk through setting it up, and we're going to enter in the different tasks for just a simple task here, just to kind of like get used to and get some experience working with MS Project. This is on Blackboard, but I'll walk through it, so if you just type along with me. So one thing I want to do is I want to set some parameters for the project itself. So I'm usually on task here, so that's just the taskbar. But I want to go to the project, and I need to modify the working time for this project because I want to put in there that there is a time when study week when there's no one available. Right, the house for this Reno bathroom, I'm going to have a period home unavailable. Why did it do that? So I'm going to home. I got caps on. Home unavailable, and I'm going to say that that takes place from Monday the 2nd through to the Sunday the 8th. So that first week in November, and I can look at the details for that. And I'm doing it so that non-working period, it's got 7 occurrences if I do it this way, and it ends on the 8th. So I go OK, and then it's unavailable, boom. So I've built in there that there's a time period when there's just the house is not available. So I'm back in. I've clicked on changing time again, but I want to just set options. So I'm clicking the options. So what I did was I clicked the options button, and let's say the start work time is 9 a.m. It's still 9 hours, but it's 9 till 5. And the day it's an 8-hour day, and I want the work is entered in days. So they're working. The duration is days, and they're working an 8-hour day. Okay. And then I go OK. So now I have a blank slate here. I'm back on task. Now I can start entering my task from that project plan for the and I'll put in the task dependencies too. So the first task is site prep, and the duration is 1 day. And let's have the project start. They're going to start on Monday the 26th, and it'll be finished Tuesday the 27th. So it's 1 day's work. The next task. Let me know if I'm going a little too fast. I know your hands-on lab might be a little slower.
Could you please tell me how to exclude that week again?
Okay, so you go to Project, change working time, enter in a record for home unavailable. I can look and click on the details for that. And range of occurrences, it's a daily occurrence. It starts on, I wanted to start on the 2nd. So now my cancel here. Yeah, there it goes. So I want details. It starts on the 2nd of November, so 11/2/20, and it occurs 7 days. So the reoccurrence pattern is it's a daily absence where the home is not available. They can't work those days. It's a non-working day. It's a daily occurrence, and it occurs for 7 days. So that will then ghost it out. It takes me out to the 8th.
Thank you.
And then I go, okay, so I'm good. It's okay. So then I've entered in site prep, and my next task, it does this a lot. The next task is a floor prep. And floor prep is for a half a day. I've defaulted it to days. Now, the predecessor for floor prep is a task that floor prep can't start until the site prep is set. So the task dependency in terms of here is the predecessor for floor prep is task 1. Task 1 has to finish F before task 2 starts. So it's a 1FS. So the predecessor is task 1. Task 1 has to F finish before task 2 starts. That's a FS. I'll press enter, and that will disappear. I won't see the FS anymore because in MS Project the default is a finish start. So then my next task is dust barrier. And it is for 0.5 of a day. And the floor prep has to be done first. So the dependency is there. So I can see on the right, my Gantt chart is starting to build. I don't want that. That's way too big. Then the next task is demolition. And it's 1 day. And the dependency is 3, task 3, and it's an FS. So if I just enter in 3, it automatically defaults to a task 4 is predecessor is 3. 3 has to finish before task 4 starts, so it's a 3 FS. Then I have layout framing and backing. For the tub. I'll just call it backing. I'm not getting into any detail. And that's 3 days. And that's dependent upon 4. Okay. Now, if I look at this one here, it's 3 days, right? So it starts on the Thursday, Friday, and then it extends out to the Monday. Now, the whole week, that first week in November, is written off and is a gap. And why is that? Because when I changed the working time, I put in that first week in November, the home is unavailable. There's no work can take place. So although it is only 3 days, it's the Thursday and Friday. Don't work Saturday, Sunday. And then that whole week, the house is unavailable. And the next start day is the Monday of, I think about the 9th. Well, it actually ends on the 10th. It goes to the 10th. Okay, so then that explains to me. I can put in gaps. So if you're doing like one for, let's say, a capstone project, you may put in, like I did for the other one, study week unavailable. Okay, so then I got new subfloor. And new subfloor is 2 days, and it's dependent upon 5. So I just keep rolling along, and then I got new subfloor install, floor heating, and that's 1 day. Task dependency is 6. Then I have rough-in plumbing. And the rough-in plumbing is 1 day. And it's dependent upon the, we'll put it as dependent upon the floor heating done first. So you gotta do the floor heating and then the plumbing occurs. So it's task dependent on 7. So I can see how I'm building out my Gantt chart for the for this project. Install tub and shower. And that's 1 day. Task dependent upon the rough-in plumbing. And then rough-in electrical. That's 1 day. And that's task dependent upon 9. And then install fan and venting. and that's 1 day. Same person, so it's task dependent upon 10. So I can see how I'm just building out the project here. Now, as we saw from before, these can get fairly complicated. And then there's drywall, 2 days, and that's task dependent upon 11 being done. And then I have the apply the red guard. And that is 2 days. Now, for this one, I may say, okay, once the drywall's done, I want it to dry for, let's say I want it to dry for 2 days before I start with the red guard and the moisture resistant board. So task dependent, the predecessor is 12. 12 has to finish before 13 can start, plus 2 days. So the red guard can't be applied until 2 days after the drywalling has been done. So I'll just say it's 2 days to let it cure. There. So that's a 12 at. So task 13 is the predecessor is 12. 12 must finish before 13 starts, so the FS, and I have to wait 2 days before I start it. Okay, so installation of tile. And that is 3 days. Now that's not task dependent on task 13. The installation of tile can start once the drywall's been done. So I can make that task dependent upon I can make that task dependent upon 12 FS plus 2 days. So they can still apply the red guard and moisturizing board per tub, but I can still do the tiling there. So here I have the dependency is here. It's like a parallel one where the red guard can be applied, but at the same time people can be working on the installation of tile. And then grouting and sealing of tile. So that one will be dependent upon 14. All right, and it's 3 days. Oh, 1 day. So is everybody okay with that so far? And then I have, now we get into the painting, so that's prime and paint walls. And that is 1 day. And let's wait, we'll wait till the flooring's done. So that one will be dependent upon 15. Paint walls, second coat. And it is 0.5 of a day. Now I'm going to say, let's say I'm going to wait to let the paint dry for a day before I give it a second coat. So let's say dependent upon 16, 16 has to finish before 17 starts, plus 1 day. That's not necessarily true, but we can work it that way, just to fiddle with so then I can install. Then I have install the vanity and countertop, and that is 0.5 of a day. Don't want that. So 0.5 and task dependent upon that's who that's doing that. That's Larry. You know, I can make that once the tile is done, they can do the vanity and countertop. So let's make that task dependent upon the grouting of the tiles. I can make that task dependent upon 15. And then install plumbing fixtures. Uninstall. That's 0.5. And make that, let's say it's the same person as Larry, so it's got to be dependent upon 18. I spelled fixtures wrong. And then we got fixtures, and we got electrical. And that's 0.5. That can be dependent upon 15 because that's Lisa. She's different than the other, and then it's not Larry. So I'll make that dependent upon 15. There. And then final is install accessories. That's 0.5. I'll keep it consistent. Let's say make that dependent upon I can make that multiple dependencies. I can make that to make sure that all the other ones are done. So I can do 18, 19, and 20. So that can only start after those three are finished. So I got multiple dependencies here. Actually, I'll leave it. And then final paint touch-ups. That is, actually, I have these wrong. It's a 0.33. This one here is dependent upon the drywall, the painting. So I'm going to have to make that dependent upon 17. And then clean up. And cleanup can't be done until it's 0.33 of a day. And it can be done when 22 is done. Boom. Okay. Is everyone able to follow along?
I'm lagging behind on the things because
It's slow?
slow in typing. And other than that, yes, following along.
Okay. I will post it. So I'm going to post this one here. This is my cleanest version. Now, what I can also do is I have categories. I have phases to this project, so I can group them as phases. So if I have tasks, if I want the task tab up here, I can select the first up to installation of floor heating, and I'll call it a summary. I can group them together so I get a summary of it, and that's phase 1. And I can see phase 1 is taking 9 days. So then I can do the plumbing is phase 2. It's 2 days. And then I have my electrical. And then there's the drywall and grouting for the so it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is phase 4. And that's drywall and flooring. And then I have the last 3. Painting is the next 2. And summary, so that's phase 5, painting. And it's 2.5 days. Oh, it should be 2. Oh, because I have the gap. I have that day gap. So there's a 2-day gap. Uh-huh. Then I have fixtures installation. Don't do that to me. So phase 6. Fixtures and counter. And then finally, my final summary will be for the phase 7. And that will be accessories. And clean up. There we go. Okay. Now I have them organized that. It tells me how many days of work or how many days it's going to take to do this. And when I lay out my project starts on the, phase 1. My project starts on the 26th. And if everything goes as planned, my project will end on roughly December 4th. So we'll be done. Now I can, if I want to, I can shrink down phases just so that it looks a little better on the screen. Sometimes if your project gets really complicated, you can do that. Then just focus on the first phase. If I want to take this and include it in, say, a PowerPoint presentation, one thing I would do is I don't need the predecessors. I don't need that. I would reduce the I would reduce the font size. I got it as an 11, and I'll make it more of a. Let's make it a 9. And I don't need the predecessor. And let's bring this out. Drag that. So I'm formatting it for my for when I'm going to put this in my okay. So then what I want to do is I'm going to put this in PowerPoint. So I highlight all the rows of the project, and then I go to copy picture. Selected rows, I want this selected, and I want it from the project starts. I think let's put it start on the 26th out to, what did I say it ended? December 4th. Let's do it to the end, right to the let's do it to the 6th, and go okay. So then when I go into PowerPoint, or I could put this in a Word document if I wanted. A blank presentation. And I want the layout to be nothing. And then I paste. And there I have my project as a Gantt. I'm going to stretch it out a bit. It won't be perfect. There. So that's how I would, I could do it phase by phase, but this would be like a little simple Gantt chart that outlines it. So that covers it for our introduction to MS Project. We'll do some work next week. I'll help you do practice tasks on your own, and we'll also just do some of the budgeting work because we have costs per employee.